Hello, my name is Sydney and today I am here with another writing update. So a couple of things. I guess I'll just start off with my word count for Project Stormcloud. I just hit 32,000 like 5 minutes ago, which is cool. But you know, kind of similar to my last writing vlog, I've been struggling a bit to get that word count a little higher. Last week I think I was at about 22,000 words. So in the past week I've written about 10,000 words, which is not bad, but you know, most of that was before like 2 days ago was when I fell off the wagon. And I was just actually in the middle of doing a writing spree, and I was just like, I'm not feeling this. And so many times I went to the internet and I started looking up other random things like, why are there so many mushrooms in my yard this time of year? Other things that I was thinking about instead of thinking about my story. It took me about 5 minutes to realize why I'm not so much into this, you know, especially lately, because I was in the fever pitch the beginning of the month. Like the first week of the month I was like really like in love with my story and everything. So I realized finally why. You hear that you need two things to be a writer. One, you need to read a lot, which kind of just goes without saying, and two, you need to like live life, right? Because if you don't go out there and have experiences, you're not really going to have a whole lot to write about. And if you don't read books, you're not going to really know how to tell a story. I have not been doing really any of those things. And I only realized today that because of these, I'm not really, that's probably why I'm like having such a difficult time. In the past, I have done better with writing when I have had something like school or work to keep me busy. Something that dictates my schedule. It takes up so many hours of my week, so that way when I'm working or when I'm at school, I wish I could be writing. And so when I get home, I'm more motivated to write because I have less time to do it. But when I have all the time in the world to write and I don't take it, it's kind of an analogy to, like, for example, my dad, like, he used to live in Hawaii. For the last like year and a half to 2 years that he lived there, he lived right across the street from the beach. And he never went to the beach. You can see it when he's going to his car. Like, he doesn't actually go over there and, like, you know, enjoy it. But when he was like living more further inland, he went more than he did when he lived right across the street from it. And I'm just like, I think it's interesting. When you have the opportunity to do something like right in front of you, it's less appealing than when you don't have that opportunity. Then you're looking for it. Because I don't have like a whole lot to do with my day other than like write and like do YouTube stuff, I don't have that creative fodder. And fodder is like, it sounds weird to me right now, like I feel like I'm using the wrong word, but it's the right word. It just means like, you know, like the stuff that you feed like animals, like the fodder, like it's the end, like, you know, it supplies them. I don't have the stuff to supply me right now for my creativity. Like, I'm not interested, not that I'm not interested in reading, it's just that the book that I want to read I don't have. And so I just need to do stuff basically. Next week we're going on a trip. And so that's considered living, right? Like doing something, like getting out of the house, getting out of like where your natural habitat. So hopefully that'll help. And I plan to go to the bookstore tomorrow because I have like some credit on my account because I donated like a bunch of books in the spring, and so I have some credit to get some free books. So I'm hoping that I can find this book that I really want to read, which is One of Us is Lying. If I can get that book, then I can read it. That'll kind of help to kickstart things, and then I go on to this trip and that'll help to kickstart things because I wanted to have 50,000 words to my novel by the end of the month. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is my schedule through the rest of the year. In my last writing vlog, which I can link down below, I talked about how for the rest of the year, like it's August right now, for the rest of the year I wanted to plan out basically what writing projects I'm going to work on each month, which I don't normally do. I normally only plan for the month that I'm in or for the next month, but I decided to try that just to see if I can do it. And so just a recap of what that plan was, I was going to, the first draft I'm working on now for Stormcloud, I was going to write 50,000 at the end by the end of this month and then finish the draft in September. And then for October I was going to work on Project Pitchfork editing, like maybe for about 3 weeks or so. Once I finished editing that, I was going to work on my third project, which has been on the back burner for a couple of years, Project Wicked. So that I was going to work on outlining that so that way for Camp NaNoWriMo I can try to write a draft of that, and then in December I was going to either finish the draft of Project Wicked or start editing Project Stormcloud. I'm making some adjustments to that because I always give myself the freedom when it comes to scheduling or outlining and like basically making plans, I always give myself the freedom to change those plans as I see fit, because I just work better that way. Sometimes you go along and you realize that things need to be this way rather than the way they were when you didn't quite have the perspective that you have now. So I'm going to stick with my plan to try to finish this draft by the end of September. The main change comes with October. I don't think I'm ready to work on edits for Pitchfork just yet, because the world needs a bit more building. And there are some other things that I know I want to change. I'm just not sure how to change it just yet, and I know I need more time to kind of let that sit. So I think, at least for now, I'm going to push back Pitchfork until maybe the new year. So for October, I hope to work on outlining Project Wicked, so that way I can write it for NaNoWriMo. But the interesting thing about this story, okay, so like I said, the past couple days I haven't really been feeling super creative with my Project Stormcloud series. So last night, basically what I did instead was I was looking at my outline for Project Wicked, like shiny new idea, which is not a new idea, but it's new because I'm not working on it right now, and I haven't written anything for this story since February 2016. So basically last night I sat down because I was bored and I was looking at Project Wicked, looking at the outline, adding some songs to my playlist for that story, because I have playlists for all my stories, and just trying to figure out like maybe if I can get a head start on the outlining process. And I read through the whole outline and I made some changes and I moved a couple things around. I've only outlined up to chapter 12. When I finished reading through chapter 12, I was like, I don't know what's supposed to happen next. Which I thought that, you know, a year and a half later I would have some new ideas, because when I was working on this story before, I didn't know what was going to happen next. But I still don't know what's going to happen next for that story. Like, it's chapter 12. At this point, you know, the initiating event has happened. The characters are like going to their new location and I know where they're going. But after that, I don't really know kind of like what the overarching rest of the plot is. The way they tell the story is from two different characters' points of view, a guy and a girl. And like I know what the girl's kind of motivation is throughout the story, and like I know how their characters more or less will progress by the end of the story, but I don't know plot-wise what's going to happen, what types of, I know a couple of situations that I want them to get into, but it's like, how do they get to this point? How do they get to those situations? You know, there has to be like an overarching plot, that there has to be something that they're trying to accomplish. And that's kind of like where I'm really stuck. I know exactly how I want it to end, but it's just about how do I get there? Because some things need to happen to these characters. They're going to have to make some really interesting decisions to make their characters develop in a certain way. Yeah, but I really love this story. Like, it's so cool to me. It's just really weird how stalled I am with this story. I'm looking at this outline and I have no idea where I want it to go. So I don't know. I think maybe one way that could help me figure that out is to look at books that are sort of similar and to see how they transgress. I don't even know if I used the word transgress right there. Or to look at TV shows. There's one TV show that's actually not very similar, but it's got a similar sort of inspiration. I just need, I guess, time to let it simmer on the back burner. And now that I'm pushing Project Pitchfork to like a few months later down the line, that opens up a space in my mind. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Thinking about Wicked is allowing me to not think about Stormcloud. It's giving me another excuse to not work on Stormcloud. Every time I sit down to work on Stormcloud now, I feel like I'm like dragging myself across the concrete to get to this story, and I'm just not feeling it. Like, I know the plot is fine. The issue is not the plot. The plot is doing what it needs to do. I know what happens in the next few chapters. I just have no interest in writing it. And I don't know, it's just really weird. I think it really does come back to the fact that I'm not reading a whole lot and I'm not really doing a whole lot with my life in the moment. It feels really sad to say that I'm not doing a whole lot with my life, which is like I'm doing things, but I'm not like, I don't have like the type of schedule that I need to have, which is like a regular day-to-day schedule with some other thing taking up a lot of my time, like school or work. So I think that's all I need to talk about right now. It might be a couple of weeks until I do my next writing vlog, just because, like I said, I will be on a trip next week. I'm pre-filming some videos. There will still be videos going up next week, but in a couple of weeks I should have the next writing update then, and I will let you know if I hit my 50,000 words, so stay tuned. Yeah, but thank you guys so much for watching. Down below, let me know how you're doing on any of your creative projects. I'd be very curious to know. Give this video a like, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Toodaloo!